माननीय सभासदों, माननीय महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी,
संसद के केंद्रीय कक्ष से मैं वीरेंद्र मिश्र और पूनम चड्ढा दूरदर्शन के सभी दर्शकों का स्वागत करते हैं। संसद के इस केंद्रीय कक्ष में संसद सदस्यों द्वारा भारत के महामहिम राष्ट्रपति डॉक्टर शंकर दयाल शर्मा का विदाई समारोह आरंभ हो रहा है। डॉक्टर शर्मा का प्रत्येक रूप मानवता के प्रति उनके प्रेम और शांति, भारत के सर्वधर्म समभाव की परंपराओं के प्रति उनकी गहरी निष्ठा का विद्वतापूर्ण अभिलेख रहा है। अपने कार्यकाल में उन्होंने निष्ठा, दायित्व और समर्पण के साथ अपने कर्तव्यों को वहन किया है।
Parliamentarians are assembled in the Central Hall here in Parliament House to pay tributes to Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma on the eve of his demitting office as President of our Republic. In the golden jubilee year of our independence, we all remember with fond memories the 5 decades of dedicated service of Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma. We see Dr. Sharma going towards the dais now, which is beautifully decorated with blooms of gladuli.
25 जुलाई 1992 को अखंड भारत के राष्ट्रपति पद की शपथ लेने के बाद डॉक्टर शर्मा ने कहा था, यदि हम अपने विचार, कार्य और आत्मा से सचमुच भारतीय हैं तो हमें पूरी दुनिया के लिए सामंजस्य, सौहार्द, शांति और संपन्नता का मार्ग प्रशस्त करना होगा। इस प्रकार हम सही रूप में मनुष्य की चेतना को मानव कल्याण के लिए प्रभावित कर सकेंगे।
I request the Chairman Rajya Sabha, President-elect, to present a bouquet to the Rashtrapati ji. Mr. Somnath Chatterjee. You can come out.
So on behalf of the members, our respect. We are very good.
revered Rashtrapati Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma ji, it is with immense sense of gratitude that we, the parliamentarians, are assembled here to pay tribute to you on the eve of your demitting office as President of our Republic. This is the golden year, jubilee year of our independence, our democracy. As we celebrate the jubilee, we shall also recall with nostalgia and fond memories the 5 decades of dedicated service you have rendered to the nation with distinction. Your academic distinctions are highly diversified, rare. They encompass areas of law, English literature, Hindi, and Sanskrit. They were achieved both in India and abroad, at Allahabad, Lucknow, Cambridge, and Harvard. With enlightenment arising out of this background, you have been a philosopher president, combining in yourself many of the attributes of the philosopher king envisioned by Plato. You were a child of Mahatma Gandhi's nonviolent revolution, which terminated the British colonial rule. You kept aside your professional aspirations and opted for imprisonment in the course of our freedom struggle and your battles against the feudal and authoritarian regime of the state of Bhopal. You made your contribution too to the process of integration of India, spearheading the merger of the state of Bhopal in the Union of India. For nearly 2 decades since 1952, as the Chief Minister of the state of Bhopal initially, and as a minister in Madhya Pradesh, you distinguished yourself as a capable administrator. Holding several vital portfolios, you laid the educational, industrial, and economic foundations of Madhya Pradesh. Your political experience was shaped by steady service to your party from at the grassroots up its hierarchy at various levels. You are reputed to have instilled the values of inner party discipline and solidarity amongst the rank and file of your party. It is the value-based practice of politics that led to your acceptance in all the crucial positions of your party, including at the apex level. Your membership in the 5th and the 7th Lok Sabhas and your service as Union Minister for Communications helped the country avail of your political and administrative experience and skills at the national level. It is stated that a statesman bridges the gap between his nation's experience and his vision. You were part of our nation's experience. Your vision was one of preserving and promoting the composite culture of India, subsumed in its colorful disparities. As a politician, as a party worker, as a legislator, and as office holder in Madhya Pradesh, and at a center, indeed, you brought your personality to fill the gap between our nation's experience and your vision. You were demonstrably seen foremost as a statesman. When you became the Vice President of India by national consensus, you had already served the nation as an impartial governor in 3 major states of India. You established reputation for playing by the rule book. Your tenure as Vice President witnessed a period of political crisis in our country. The country's governance came under 4 different prime ministers. The tribute paid to you while demitting office as Vice President reflects the respect you commanded from the elders, and we quote, "When you occupied a chair in the Rajya Sabha, you brought with you the excellence of an educationist, the wisdom of an eminent scholar, and the firmness of an administrator. But besides all these qualities, what touched us most was your unassuming nature, your genial manners, and your magnanimity. You represent the best in our tradition, its Catholicity, tolerance, and secularism," unquote. As well, from 1992, when you were elevated as president, politics and governance in the country continued to be crisis-ridden. Politics increasingly became a search for conflict resolution, and your deft handling of constitutional situations by your impartial rulebook approach facilitated smooth transfer of power through the hands of 4 prime ministers, projecting India not merely as the largest democracy, but as a successful one at that. You are our pride, not merely as a freedom fighter, administrator, and a statesman, but as an intellectual of international renown in diverse fields, be it international relations, the rule of law, philosophy, comparative study of religion, etc. The saying that behind every successful man there is a woman may be a cliche. But dear Rashtrapati, it is true in your case. Srimati Bimla Sharma carried herself about with the impeccable Rajasthani charm, adding to the splendor of your office and dignity of your personality. We wish you both long and healthy life. We hope to continue to benefit by your sage advice as an elder statesman on matters of national concern. Sir, at the time of your installation as the President, you advised, and we quote, "We have to safeguard freedom and gains of freedom. Let us remember that freedom has little meaning without equality, and equality has little meaning without social and economic justice," unquote. We shall remember this advice and assure you that we shall not rest on our goals until we achieve true social and economic justice. We remain, sir, yours respectfully, members of Parliament of India. Just a moment. This is an famous और दिखाएंगे और I think I will show the Hindi version of it. That will be nicer. This is the Hindi version. Yeah. I think it's good. So this is the signature of all the members of Parliament. This is the signature of all the members of Parliament. Sir, as a token of our love and affection to you, there is a small gift from the members of parliament. Thank you very much.
Honorable Vice President, Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Parliamentarians, I am deeply touched and moved by the gesture of Honorable Parliamentarians who have assembled here to felicitate me. It's a rare honor, the memory of which I shall always cherish. As the apex democratic institution of our nation, the world's largest democracy, our parliament is a unique sanctity. It is my privilege and good fortune to have been associated in some manner with the parliament, with other legislatures for over 4 decades. It is a special pleasure to see here many personal friends. I have deep admiration for the contributions of our eminent parliamentarians to the strengthening of our democratic process. I thank the Honorable Speaker for his warm farewell address and for the kind words expressed towards me. Our parliament represents the creative diversity of our great nation. Equally, it is a symbol of collective striving for common goals. As I look around this august assembly, I see my compatriots from various parties, regions and walks of life, some of whom were with me in Parliament when I became a member about 3 decades ago. They represent the vibrance and splendor of great civilization. Today, the rich pluralism of our country is reflected in the number of parties represented in this House. This is symbolic of gradual enrichment and advancement of political processes in our democracy. As our society advances and progresses, new challenges emerge. Our system of cooperative federalism has proven to be resilient and flexible enough to adapt to changing circumstances. Regional aspirations have always been harmonized with national goals. We should pay tribute to the founding fathers of the Constitution for their vision and to our parliamentarians who have discharged their responsibilities with sincerity and commitment. They have articulated the problems and concerns not merely of their own constituencies, states or regions, but of the entire nation. As Pandit Nehru said, every parliamentarian is a member, not only for his or her particular constituency, but a member for India. As repositories of the aspirations and yearnings, the hopes and dreams of the people, as the chosen leaders, parliamentarians have the task of strengthening our democratic ethos and taking our great nation forward. The path of progress has already been illumined by the great stalwarts of our freedom struggle who inspired millions of people throughout the world to strive for peace and harmony, equality, justice, dignity, and secularism. During this golden jubilee year of independence, let us pledge to uphold these values and ideals and rededicate ourselves to work with a spirit of selfless service for the well-being and prosperity of our nation. The last few years have been momentous years for our democracy. Complex political situations have been effectively dealt with by our democratic institutions. As a constitutional head dealing with political processes as they evolved, particularly over the last 2 years, three principles and one great foremost in my mind. These were impartiality, constitutional propriety, and transparency, and the paramountcy of national interest. These determined my mission along with the path I had been privileged to take. The words of advice I received from many of you were of immense benefit in the discharge of my responsibilities. I thank all of you for your support, assistance, and friendship. As I bid farewell, I wish you, and through you, our masters, the people of India, all the success in our common endeavors to make our democracy ever stronger, vigorous, and dynamic. This is our designated path as a nation and a people. Our motherland has had a glorious past and shall have an even more radiant future. I have immense faith in the talents and creative energies of our people and the people's representatives. The future is in our hands. Together, let us make it bright and luminous. Let us light a candle of hope and joy in every home. I conclude with this ancient Upanishadic prayer for the salvation of individuals, society, nation, and indeed for human civilization. Asatoma Satgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Lead me from untruth to truth, from darkness to light. Jai Hind.